Hey y'all. Today we are home because of severe weather here in South Carolina, and so on a whim, I decided that I was going to try to make some homemade bread. Just sandwich bread, no sourdough. I would love to make sourdough one day, but today's not the day. So we're going to see how this goes. Okay, full disclosure, if you know me in real life, I'm not like a little Susie homemaker. I'm really not. You want me to go work in the yard and help you haul stuff and like feed the goats and the animals and get dirty? That's fine. You want me to make like a homemade, 5-course dinner from scratch? It's just not me. I wish it was me, but it's not. So I don't know how this is gonna go. This could be terrible. But it might be fine. It could be fine. This recipe sounds so simple. So here goes nothing. First thing this recipe calls for is 2.5 cups of lukewarm water. So let's get that. Then it says a tablespoon of instant yeast or active dry yeast. I have active dry yeast. And again, full disclosure, I live in a really small town, and so whenever I stopped to get yeast yesterday at the grocery store, we have really small grocery stores, and they had these little packets. So if you are new to this and you just on the whim are watching this, was like, oh yeah, I can do that, that other girl did it. Look for a packet and not a jar, okay? Because I buy this at work. I'm a science teacher and we do stuff with yeast at work, but I haven't found one in the packet before. So, new learning experience for me. This says a tablespoon of instant yeast or active dry yeast, which I have. It's about the whole pack. Just going with it. We're going with our feelings. All right, last it says for you to add in honey. So I'm gonna add in 1 tablespoon of honey. Now this honey is special. If you watch our Bryson City videos, this actually is fresh honey from Smyrna, South Carolina. And so we bought this in Bryson City. And so this is really, really good too. Like I've already eaten out of it, tasted it. We love honey in this house. So this is fresh honey, which is hopefully gonna be even better. So this is 1 tablespoon. 1 tablespoon? 1 tablespoon. So I'm like a heaping tablespoon kind of girl, so I'm just gonna assume that like a heaping amount is good. Also, I saw recipes that didn't call for honey. This is the one I'm using. We're just gonna see what happens, okay? So, let's see. I don't have a stand mixer. I did have one when we got married. Someone gifted us one, so nice. I ended up getting rid of it in one of our moves because I never used it. So I don't have a stand mixer, so I'll be doing all this by hand. And so this says mix until the yeast is moistened and the honey is dissolved. So I'm gonna do that, and then it says it's gonna let it sit, so I'll be back. Our mixture has been sitting for about 5 minutes now, and I'm gonna try to turn this down without making it fall. All the videos I've been watching means that little plume thing is good. That means the yeast is working. We're gonna see. I see some bubbles, which is also good. This recipe calls for 6 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour. Because I've watched a lot of videos, bought bread flour, but I do have all-purpose flour. So since this one in particular calls for that, I'm gonna try that first. Also, I read and have watched videos to not track this down all the way. So we're gonna see. I'm gonna let this be fluffy. It says for salt to add 1 teaspoon of salt. So I'm just gonna add 1 teaspoon. I am just gonna go in. This is maybe a bad choice. If you're watching this and you're like, oh my gosh, you're missing a step, tell me in the comments, because right now I don't know. So let's try to mix this. I don't know. It smells like bread. I added a little extra flour because it was sticking to my hand so bad. And now I think we're in a better spot. So our next step is shape the dough with your hands into a ball and place it back into the bowl, and cover the bowl and let it sit for an hour in a warm, draft-free place. So I guess I'm just gonna go stick it on top of my oven. Just get it out of the way. We'll see what happens. So here's, right now, I'll be back in an hour.